And just like that, there I am. I want to suck your blood. I know, I do not go blah, 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 blah. Anyways, hello, everybody. I know this is a little after Halloween, after spooky season, but who says spooky season can't last all year long, right? Because it does for me. Clearly. Clearly it does. And of course, hello to everyone who is joining the chat. But before we say our hellos to everyone, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to bring up my competition tonight, I guess. You know, we'll see where this goes. He's probably going to kick my butt. But you know him. You love him. It's Jason from the Haunted Side and Cemetery Road. He's going to kick my booty.
I'm ready for this.
All right. You ready to do this? Hello, everyone who's joining. I'm just watching kind of people go by. Hi, Janine. Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
Hi, Cody. Custard. Joshua. Wisconsin Investigators of the Supernatural. How's it going? Nads. Max. And then I did see Spectral Sisters Paranormal in here somewhere also. And then I got everybody. Yeah. Oh, and hi, Jason.
Oh, and I am here as well. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing here, what we're doing here in general, it is because I think last week me and Vivian were chit-chatting, and I was like, you know what we need to do? We need to just hang out and have fun. How about we get together and we do a like horror movie trivia thing, hangout thing, like just something casual, something fun, because even though spooky season is over, like I didn't really get to jump into like spooky horror movies that I usually do. I was busy and I was traveling. I was gearing up for the Haunted Sides events at the Tahoe Biltmore. I know you were just working way more than I had to. so
I was
so
like,
we
October
were
came and went. It was gone.
Yeah,
was
we
like,
didn't
okay,
we didn't really get to celebrate October in the way we usually do. So because of that, I said let's get together, let's do some horror movie trivia stuff and have some fun. And that's what we're doing tonight. Absolutely. I am excited.
Me too. This is gonna be badass. And we might have somebody else pop in and join us.
Maybe. We invited the Crow of Judas, but we'll see if he's available. He'll pop in if he can. If not, we'll just power on without him. But also, guys, don't forget, if you aren't already subscribed to the Dead Hours, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure if you want to support this channel by buying merch or whatever, I've been throwing the links up in the chat. Do with that what you will. And hopefully we can have some fun tonight. I'm excited. I got unopened trivia cards ready to just start going to town on these horror movie trivia things. I was telling her that the good thing about these cards is like there's questions on one side and the answers I'm assuming are on the back, so that we can really we can go through this whole thing if we wanted to, because I can't cheat. I promise not to cheat.
And you can see they're sealed, so he has not looked.
I have not looked at them.
The cards at all.
And here's the thing: anytime I see these kind of things at a store, I bought this thing at a Kohl's horror trivia thing. My family doesn't watch horror movies. I don't have a whole lot of friends where I live that do like a ton of movies and stuff. So I buy these things, but never get to use them. So I'm super excited to be able to actually break this thing open and
just like
and
me
actually
buying board
play.
games. I do the same thing where I'm like, board games, and then I buy board games and I'm like, I don't have anyone to play board games with. So
I love movie trivia things, but I am surrounded by people who don't watch movies or don't know movies or don't have the enthusiasm for movies, right, horror or otherwise. Right. So this is a good chance for me to be able to do that.
Also, speaking of like passion for movies, like when we talked about the Oscars not that long ago, you were like, you don't want to watch the Oscars with me because they're like, I take it really seriously, and I'm like, you too, like
very seriously,
and like we seriously like streamed, like Jason and I made like watched it remotely on like a private live stream where we could like watch the Oscars, because Nobody
Yeah.
like where he lives like watches them and like really cares, and like same with me. And I'm like, that's like my Super Bowl, like
Oh,
straight
it
up.
is definitely my Super
Like,
Bowl, to the
yeah.
point where, like, and we discussed this. I'm like, I don't like when people talk during the Oscar
Yeah.
telecast. The talking is reserved for the commercials, or if you are aware enough to be able to comment between like things happening, because I want to hear the speeches, I want
Yeah.
to hear the nominees, I want to like, I want to experience the Oscars as much as possible. I will start out watching like the red carpet, like
Oh, me too.
if the
Like
Oscars start at
pregame. Yeah.
5 and then go to like 10 or whatever, like I start at 3 when the red carpet starts, because I want to see what everybody's wearing. I want
Right.
to see the
Who
people
wore it better?
hobnobbing on the red carpet. Like, I treat it so seriously. My whole family knows. Like, when I say the Oscars are coming on, they need to be quiet, to the point where I think the last couple of years my wife actually takes the kids out of the house
And just
and
like,
they
let's
go
go.
and do stuff so I can watch the Oscars in a controlled environment, if you will.
I would do the same thing, except I would have like, I basically did the same thing. I had a red carpet, no joke. Like, I had a red carpet that I would roll out in my house from the door into my living room that people could walk down when they came in, because I would have an Oscar party every year that I would like cater myself and make all like the snacks, and we did a beer tasting and a whiskey tasting. Like, it was like serious beans.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same thing where I'm like, when the show is on, you shut up. You shut up. I don't want to hear anybody talk except for during commercials.
Yeah.
That's it.
I dress up for it. Like, I know last year when we did our stream to watch together and stuff, like, you had like made snacks, like cooked all day long and had like a smorgasbord of snacks set out. I didn't go that far. I had like chicken wings and stuff. I had stuff to eat, but you like went like
I went
really,
ham.
yeah. I was like,
I
man,
had like a
someone.
charcuterie board.
It's going to be an interesting Oscars this year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be. I don't know, because there weren't, as far as I know, there were. I mean, there were some movies, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to see what gets nominated. Actually.
Mm-hmm. So, that being said, how are all of you? We
Yes.
want to
Hi.
like let people join in before we start getting into the nitty gritty. So I'm going to
Yeah.
say we're going to start trivia-ing it up here in the next 5-10 minutes or so. But do any of you have any questions for us? So we've got Vivian in the dead hours and the murder corner, true crime, mysteries of the unknown kind of thing. What
Yeah.
questions do you have for her? I obviously Cemetery Road and the haunted side. Let's do a little quick 10-minute Q&A, and then we will get into the battle at
Yes.
hand.
Let's
So we'll
see.
leave it up to the chat, the whole 17 of you, to ask whatever questions you have
Let
of
me try
us.
to. Let me go over here really quick and see if I can't.
Max says that poltergeist shirt is cool.
It is very cool. I got it at Five Below for $5.
I like it. Every time I go there and they have cool shirts, they're all like children's medium. I'm like,
I know. I lucked out and found one. I was like, this is a men's. It was a men's, I think, medium. No, it was a men's small. And I was like, freak it, I'll take it. Like, I will take it. At this point, I'm like, it's all good. Like,
Tarnia asks, Vivian and Jason, what is your number one favorite horror movie?
oh, that's a good one. Number one favorite horror movie. Let's see. Mine is probably, and I watch it every year religiously on Halloween. It is okay. So I have two. I have one that's a really bad B movie, because I do feel like the B horror movies, um, of like the really cheesy 50s, like they have their place. I love that stuff. I love like the
I
really
forgot
like
my mood lighting.
there you go. It's like,
Sorry.
speaking of your mood lighting, I was like, I love movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space, like really cheesy like 50s movies. So the one I watch every year without fail is possibly the worst movie of all time. It also just happens to be a horror movie, and it's called Manos: The Hands of Fate. And
There
if
you
anybody
go.
is familiar with Mystery Science Theater 3000 or Riff Tracks, they did that movie on both of those shows, and it is truly like, when people are like, I just saw the worst movie, I'm like, bet, because that's the worst movie of all time. So That aside, traditional horror movie, I would have to go with probably Halloween, the first Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween would be my number one like slasher flick. It's not scary to me, but everything about that movie, from the making of it, the behind the scenes stuff, to the film itself, I absolutely love every tiny bit of it. If you want to talk about like what's my favorite movie that like will scare me even today, even though I've watched it like 20 times, and that is The Changeling. Not the one with Angelina Jolie about a child that was taken and all that kind of, it's a drama, period piece drama. I'm talking about The Changeling with George C. Scott.
Yeah.
Yes. 1970s, late 1970s horror movie about a man who he's going to teach at a university, and they place him in this mansion for some reason because they can't sell this place. So they're just like, well, you can stay there while you teach. And it turns out to be haunted by the spirit of a child. And it is scary. It creeps me out to this day. It is one of the most perfect
like child ghosts,
moody films. Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why. So yeah, definitely. The Awoken one says, my question to Vivian and Jason, who is your favorite horror film director?
Probably going along with, I would say, John Carpenter.
Yep, John Carpenter's really up there. Wes Craven is definitely high on that list.
That's a tight top.
Sean S. Cunningham, like everybody who's been involved with the classics of Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Toby Hooper for Leatherface's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, really, you can't go wrong with any of those folks.
I would even say, like, as far as like even comedy horror, I would say Edgar Wright with Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, kind of like, he doesn't do all horror, but he does do some horror. So like, I would say, like, I love Shaun of the Dead. So Daniel says, did I do true crime before Dead Hours? Yes, I did briefly do true crime I had a podcast that was on all major platforms. That's how Jason and I bonded, because he's been doing podcasts for a long time, about 10 years, right?
More, like almost like 13, 14 at this point.
So he was doing podcasts, and like, he also noticed my really cool video game tattoo and was like,
Fallout, boom,
friends, Fallout tattoo. So I had a podcast that I used to do with two friends of mine, and we did true crime on there, as well as horror and paranormal. So that's kind of where the Dead Hours kind of, and my channel kind of came out of, was coming off of the podcast, because I wanted to keep doing it. The podcast kind of fell apart. We went our separate ways because of creative differences, and just things just didn't work out, as sometimes creative projects do. And I was like, I really want to keep doing this, and I really want to keep going in a different direction. So I decided that I was going to just kind of shift it over to a video show of video content, where originally it was me interviewing paranormal investigators, and that's how it got started, which that is still on Paraflix. That's still going to be going on Paraflix. But then I was like, I love the true crime stuff. I want to reintroduce that. So there we are. And yes, I did used to do true crime before this.
Tarnia asked, do both of you read books such the ones written by Dean Koontz or Stephen King? I'm a massive Stephen King fan. I have not read all of his books, and that is on purpose, because he's an older gentleman. And at some point, we're not going to have Stephen King anymore, and I want to keep that train rolling as long as possible. So I want to say maybe every book he's written, but I have not read them all yet. I usually read one or two of them a year. Sometimes I read a bunch of them. One of my favorite Stephen King books is The Long Walk. The Long Walk is a great underrated book that they say they're going to turn into a film at some point, but that project comes and goes with the wind.
I would say, because I've read both.
We lost your sound, Vivian.
Oh, hold on. Are we good? Can we hear? Oh,
I can't hear you.
Oh no!
It's going to be hard to battle you if I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Oh no!
Hold, please.
I'm pretty sure it's not me.
Is that better?
It's hard to tell when we're the only ones here.
Are we good? Can we hear? No? Crap. Why? I mean, is it just you?
So
Daniel says
everybody
he can,
else can hear her, but I can't.
but he
Is that what you
can't.
guys are
Oh
saying?
no!
Because I can't hear a dang thing.
All right, hold on a second. Let me.
Hmm.
Better.
Let me try
Yes?
and reset my headphones.
Maybe. Okay. Because I had to switch over. I switched to my other microphone, so it might sound better.
It does sound better, but now you're coming from my computer. So let me see if it was my headphones problem. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Blah 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 blah
Blah, blah,
blah.
blah, blah. You gotta love the technical difficulties.
I love it. Like it's like technology, right? Gotta love
Yeah,
it.
for some reason my computer there we go.
There it is.
My
Okay.
computer booted my headphones for some reason.
That's freaking weird. I just didn't want us talking about that. So I don't know, where were we? Like we were on a question, I think.
Not favorite horror movie.
Stephen King. Okay, so
Stephen King.
Stephen King. So I worked in a bookstore for 16 years. So I did read both Dean Koontz and Stephen King, not really extensively, but I will say I read more King than Koontz because I did prefer his books to Dean Koontz. Dean Koontz is okay. I liked Stephen King better. And Jason's right. We won't have Uncle Steve at a certain point because he is an older dude. But I would recommend also his son's books. His son Joe Hill. He goes by Joe Hill rather than Joe King. If you've seen the Creep Show,
his mother's maiden name,
right? If you go have seen Creep Show, the original Creep Show that actually had Stephen King in it, his son is the little boy that gets his comic thrown away. That's Joe Hill, or his Joe King. He's credited as Joe King in the movie. So there's some free trivia for you.
Well, there goes my first question.
There goes my
way to go.
Just tears the card up, throws it away.
Ruining it for everybody.
Just wrecking the curve. So his books are very similar, I would say, to his dad's. And there was a Netflix movie that was called In the Tall Grass that they both worked on. That was very good. So if you love Stephen King, I would recommend his son's books because he did Nosferatu and all those. They're really good.
I got to see Stephen King speak very randomly. He did a book tour when the third part of his trilogy was coming out. What was that called? Was it Finders Keepers? No. It was Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, and then I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah.
Anyway, he was doing a book tour when the third book of that trilogy was coming out, and all of the location. He doesn't travel much.
No,
so
he doesn't.
Generally, when he does book tours, he sticks to the East Coast. That's where he lives. Yeah. Again, he's kind of an older guy. He doesn't want to travel a whole lot. But in this one, he was traveling, and he was going to all these like locally owned small time bookstores doing speaking engagements. And then for some random reason, the second to last stop was a Barnes and Noble in Reno, Nevada.
So lucky.
I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. But because I do subscribe to like newsletters for Stephen King and stuff. Right. So I know when his new books are coming out. And it was like book tour. And generally I don't really pay attention to those because I'm like, well, it's on the East Coast.
They never come here anyway. Yeah.
But I looked at it and it was like, oh yeah, Reno, Nevada, Barnes and Noble. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So you had to show up like super early in the morning because you had to show up and get a wristband that allowed you to get in the store for the books,
having flashbacks.
Like the speaking engagement. I got there at 5:30 a.m. the day of, and I was number 3 in line.
Nice.
And then you stood in line or sat in line, whatever you felt like doing, until they handed out all the wristbands, which allowed you to get out of line at that point. And then you would have to line back up again like 2 hours later in the same order. Because my wristband said 3. So I was going to be the third one in line. And so I met up like with the first 6 people, like we all like joined together and we were able, like we became friends for that one day. Awesome. We were the best of friends for one day for those 6 hours. And we came back we went out to eat lunch, and then we came back and we got in, and we were first row. So like literally, if I leaned forward in my seat and just reached out, I could probably touch Stephen King. That's how close we were.
He was like,
I have
you're still touching me.
Yeah, I have a picture of me, like a selfie with him, like just standing right behind me. And that was all cool. Like the speaking was cool. He spoke for maybe like an hour and a half. And then everybody who got a wristband and got to see the speaking engagement got a signed copy of the book.
That's rad.
We didn't get hit.
Already?
Yeah, he had it pre-signed, which was fine. It made everything go really quickly and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was a huge deal to me because I absolutely loved like hearing him and seeing him speak. The whole like day was very surreal and interesting. And then having that book signed by him, like it's one of my most treasured like items that I have.
I have a similar story about that, but a different author, because again, it's one of those things. The big authors don't usually come to small stores like that. They usually are reserved for flagship locations, like in New York City, Times Square, which is the flagship location of Barnes and Noble. Don't know why.
End of Watch. Someone said it was End of Watch.
End of Watch. That was it.
I have a signed copy.
Or LA, like the big stores in LA, Santa Monica. That's a big location. So they usually go to, or Chicago, they go to big stores like that. They don't usually come to Vegas or Reno. So that's really odd. Like that's really an anomaly that they would choose to go to those locations, but it's still really cool. Like I love when authors do that because like a lot of times those stores get missed and skipped in like the big book tours, especially with the big authors. People used to ask us if John Grisham was ever coming. And I'm like, no, John Grisham's never coming here because it's Vegas and not freaking New York. So no.
You would almost think because Vegas is the biggest city in Nevada that you guys would get some people of that caliber.
A few.
Like I would think Stephen King would go to Vegas before he came to Reno.
That's what I thought too, but yeah, hey, maybe he really likes Reno. Sometimes it's because the author really particularly likes a city or likes a region, or it's just easier to go there because they're going to the next stop is closer. Maybe. So that a lot of times
I think his next stop was in either Washington or Oregon. I can't remember.
So like maybe on the way. So they're like, all right, we're already on the way there, so let's stop in Reno because we have a day or something. It's not a horror author, but Fight Club is one of my favorite books of all time. And I met Chuck Palahniuk several times because he doesn't really do book signings. Oh,
Chucky boy.
Yeah. He doesn't do book signings. He'll come in. He came into our store at random several times to sign stock. But he didn't do a sit down book signing, but I've met him several times. He was at a book festival out here and I got to flat books. I got to sit next to him for like 4 hours and flat books next to him, which was really freaking rad. So I have like in my collection personalized copies of Fight Club, the DVD, the book, Invisible Monsters, which is my favorite book of his, that are like no one is allowed to touch them and read them because like I don't want the spines damaged because they're signed. So I'm like, nope, I have this. So very similar. On the flip side, Awoken One said, "What's the worst horror film you've ever seen?" I want to hear yours.
Oh, I don't even know. I have a high tolerance for bad movies.
Oddly enough, there's some that I'm like,
I'm not sure. Like I try not to like keep a lot of hate in my life and anger and stuff like that because it's just I'm that kind of guy who just like I'll dwell on it. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you like a specific like horror movie. I will tell you the worst movie I've ever seen, and I hate it. It makes me angry thinking about it. So it's a movie called Pumpkin with Christina Ricci in it.
Okay.
I was a big fan of Christina Ricci, big fan.
Right.
All the way since
Addams,
the Addams Family and Casper and stuff. So she was like my high school crush kind of thing.
Right.
So I watched everything she was in. She made a movie called Pumpkin where she played like a ditzy sorority girl, like the most popular girl ever and stuff.
Right.
And so the sorority needed to do like a community project kind of thing. So what they did was like support the Paralympics for like something or whatever. So each person gets teamed with a special needs person that's going to compete in these Olympics, and they got to help him train and stuff. And she gets teamed up with Pumpkin, who I don't know what exactly his thing was that he was suffering from or had a disability with, but he was mentally challenged and I want to say like borderline autistic or something like that. Either way, she kind of falls in love with him. And she kind of gets in on the outs with all the popular kids because she actually turns out to like him and stuff. But here's the thing in the movie. They don't do it's one thing to be like, oh, this girl found that she had feelings for this person who had like special needs and stuff. Like they did it so disrespectfully in my eyes, to the point where they did like a The Graduate type ending where she stands up like, I love him and he loves me and like blah blah blah, and we're gonna be happy together and you guys can't stop us, and everybody's like, okay, and they go off together, and she's like, you know I love you, right? And he basically doesn't quite understand. He's like, look at that cloud, it's a unicorn. And she looks at him like, what did I do? I have ruined my life. And then the movie ends, and I'm just like, that is so messed up. I hate it so one. The acting in that movie was garbage from beginning to end. Everybody was just garbage. The writing is terrible, and I felt like it was just the most disrespectful movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's like such an off-putting like spin on that, where it was like, okay, it's one thing if it was genuine, but the fact that she was like, what did I do? Like, that's gross.
And it was like, it wasn't like, oh no, it was like, oh, like she was disgusted
I'm disgusted by your whatever you have going on. Like, that's it's distasteful. Like, as far as horror movie, okay, so horror movie wise, I really hated Blair Witch Project. I hated that movie. I hated it because, and I will say, just because Jason's gone.
I love Blair Witch Project.
I didn't like Blair Witch Project in the fact that so I don't like when people are just like sniveling and crying in the camera. I get it. Like, I get it. You were supposed to be scared, but I didn't buy it. Like, I was just like, all I see is snot bubbles. Like, this is gross.
I can get it.
And I feel like nothing happened at the end of that movie. I feel like it was like a whole lot of buildup, and it was a whole lot of yelling and frustration and nothing. And it was like, and then nothing happened, and I was pissed. So I was like,
I disagree with everything you say. But I totally understand everything you said. Like, that is not a movie for everybody. Like, found footage stuff in general is just, it's not a movie or a genre that's going to hit every single person. You're always going to get the people who are like, I don't get it, I don't like it, it made me seasick, like blah 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 blah. Like, so totally understand. I think one of the reasons why I come at it with the love that I do is, as a filmmaker, I love everything that went into actually creating that movie. I have a big old fat book that is about the making of the Blair Witch Project. It is fascinating. And I think that the fascination for how the movie was made and how it was presented to the world and the acclaim that it got adds to my love of the movie beyond what the movie itself presents to the public.
Right. I have two levels about that movie, where it's like, I don't like the movie itself, but I appreciate all of the work that went into it because it was genius from a filmmaking perspective. When I look at it as a filmmaker, like, it was genius. Like, it didn't take long to shoot it. It was like basically a student film, and like the marketing that went around it and how they promoted this whole thing of it being real, and this was found in the woods and we found this, and it was like, it was one of the first, like, what, not the only obviously, but it was like the first found footage movie of like a modern generation that really hit with people, and people were convinced for the longest time that really happened, that movie was found in the woods in like a hole in the ground. And So it was genius from a filmmaking.
I worked in a movie theater.
I just didn't care for the movie itself.
The haunted movie theater that I had like my first like straight up paranormal experience in. I worked at that movie theater when this movie came out, and we had many people come in and be like, "I think this is a disgusting movie to present to the people because these people died."
You're like, no.
Like, no, they were literally on Leno last night promoting the movie. So they're like, no, this is a documentary. They found this footage in the woods. These people are dead.
When I was in film school, I had somebody that said that when that movie came out, because that movie came out right when I was in the middle of film school. So I was in theater. I was a film and theater major. So people were like the same thing where they were like, they found that in the woods, right? And I was like, with a credit reel on it.
Yes. They were that forward thinking.
They were that forward thinking that they put a production reel and a credit reel on the end of it. And I was like, with a credit reel on it? And they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah, no, it's not real. They did a really good job of convincing people it was real. And the guerrilla marketing they did with it and the way the film was done was really good. But I just, it's one of those where I'm like, the whiny. I think it's like the characters are whiny and they're not likable. And I'm like, that's the only part that gets me about the movie, really, honestly.
Trying to look up the book I was talking about.
I'm gonna get whiskey while you do that.
And then 8 Days in the Woods. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you guys 8 Days in the Woods. This is the book, The Blair Witch Project, Making of the Blair Witch Project. It is so good. This is like, if you're at all interested in the filmmaking that goes into something like this, and this book is like that thick. It's pretty big. 8 Days in the Woods is an amazing book. If you are into horror movies, if you're into the making of horror movies, especially this specific project, it's good. I read it in like 2 days. I was just obsessed with it. I'm going to take a little break. You hang out here. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, while Jason takes a break, and we will probably get the trivia questions started when he comes back, does anyone have any questions that I didn't get to? We were trying to watch the chat and to see what was going on, but I might have missed ones that went by. I was trying to keep an eye on it. Did anyone have any questions that did not get answered or that you didn't? Would you like to ask before we kind of like wrap the trivia up? And yes, it's the whole bottle. Don't at me. I have ghost earrings, by the way. They're $2. $2 ghost earrings. The fangs make it a little hard to talk, but they're fun. Oh, it burns so good. Welcome back. I was seeing if anybody had any questions to ask before we wrapped up.
It's interesting because I had to run out and get my beer,
nice.
or my apple juice. Sorry.
I mean, yes, apple juice. That's totally what I have in this glass.
But I have these green lights on, and you can kind of see through these curtains. So like my whole van is like glowing green right now.
Speaking of, somebody just mentioned Close Encounters in the chat.
I love Close Encounters. On my last trip, my last drive trip to Reno, I stopped at the Devil's Tower, which is where the end of Close Encounters happens. So cool. Anyway, guys, I know
one question, one more before we.
You got a super chat or something, Daniel.
Oh, so he asked if I've done documentary film narrations. No, I have not done documentary film narration. I just narrate my own my own documentaries.
But next time I do a documentary, I'll remember that.
Heck yeah! I had Jason do a voice on my show. Jason played. Jason played
serial killer.
Yes, he played a serial killer, and it's like one of my top episodes. Like the episodes with your narration on it, or like a couple like right behind my Scientology documentary.
All right, guys, I know why you're here. You're here for some trivia. So I don't know if we're gonna keep score. I don't know if that's what this challenge is.
No.
Let's just have some fun, guys. So let's jump into it. Ladies first, ask away, Vivian. We're gonna do some horror movie challenge trivia questions. Don't forget, support the Dead Hours. I've been posting the link in the chat if you want to go buy some merch, if you want to subscribe to her Instagram or donate financially. You can find all of those in the link, so do that if you will. Vivian, what do you got for me?
All right, so let me tab out here to my so speaking of, we were just talking about found footage horror films. So what film is credited as creating the genre of found horror films, found footage?
Shoot, it's not Blair Witch. I don't think it's Blair Witch. They had a cannibal movie. Oh, I think. Is it Cannibal Holocaust?
It is Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, that was a straight up guess.
Cannibal Holocaust.
I think it might have been this.
Yeah, you're like, I think it was something with cannibals. Was it that one? So yeah,
that was not a movie that hit with audiences, guys.
It sure didn't. To matter of fact, when it came out in 1975-76, it's by an Italian director, and he got taken to court because they thought it was a snuff film. They thought the actors actually died during the making of that film. And the actors had to appear in court to show that, no, it was a movie. We're still alive. Everything was fine.
And I get it. We were talking about the Blair Witch Project. This was like at the birth of the internet when film companies were like, we can use this to promote our films and stuff. So I get there's some confusion there. In the late 70s, you had to bring people up and be like, no, look, they're still alive. We're good.
See, look, they're here.
Please
they're
don't
here. They're not dead.
Oh, man. That's good. All right. I try and paste links in YouTube, and you can paste it like 3 times, and then it doesn't let you paste it anymore, and you got to go back and find it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Okay.
Here we go. First card. Again, I have not looked at the answers, so I don't know them.
All right.
There's 2 questions on each card. First question. What iconic horror movie actor appeared in the opening sequence of the 2006 film Hatchet?
Oh, shoot.
This is difficult because many horror icons have appeared in this franchise.
Okay.
So we're talking about the first Hatchet movie. Which iconic horror movie actor appeared in the opening sequence?
I didn't see Hatchet, so I'm going to go with... Sorry, I'm trying to get this stuff off my teeth. I'm going to go with Robert Englund, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger.
And you would be correct. I wouldn't have got that. I knew he appeared in the movie at some point because, like, everybody appeared in this movie at some point.
Right.
Nice guess on that one. Nice guess.
Also, he was in...
we're 1-1.
He was in Urban Legend. He was the professor.
He was like the professor, yeah. I haven't seen the Urban Legend movies in... Well, right. I think I've only seen the first 2, and then I kind of skipped out.
I think I saw the first one. I don't think I saw the sequel.
And I don't remember the first one at all. I think I remember who done it, but it's been like I saw that in the theater once when it came out. All right, Vivian, what do you got? We're 1-1. We're neck and neck.
All right,
doing good.
Well, I got to skip that one because we already kind of answered it because you would know that one. And we already kind of answered it.
What was it?
Okay, so it was, how long did it take to film the Blair Witch Project?
8 days.
8 days. And the title of the book was 8 Days in the Woods. So instead, we will skip and say, all right, hold on. At the end of Poltergeist, the father removes something from the motel room. What is
TV.
It? The TV.
They boogies that TV right out there. Tray and all.
Like,
no. Mm-mm. I would never have a TV in my house ever again.
It'd be like radios from now on, kids. That's all we're doing.
Poltergeist is definitely one of those movies that messed me up as a kid. The scene where the guy's peeling his face off.
Yeah, and he's going like this in the mirror.
Like watching it now, you can clearly see the effect. Obviously, because it's a practical effect. You can clearly see that it's makeup, it's a fake head, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Still messes me up. Where he's like, what? And it's just dropping gore into the sink. Oh,
I love that. I love practical effects. I miss practical effects like that in film when things used to have like, you pull off like latex, like rubber skin and like eyeballs and stuff like that. And like CG is great. Don't get me wrong. CG is great because it allows you to do certain things that you couldn't do back then. But there was just a certain thing about like practical effects with horror makeup and like
as good as special effects have gotten, the CGI, all that kind of stuff, when it's a practical thing.
Yeah.
There's an artistry to both things. There's an artistry to CGI and there's an artistry to practical effects. But when it's there, when it's there, and it works so good in a horror setting. All right, your next question. What is the name of the charter boat used to chase down Jaws?
Oh, I've seen Jaws like 100 times. Oh my gosh.
I am really racking my brain because I know it, but I don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say the minnow. I'm like,
yeah, I know. I was like,
a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour. Okay, so it is.
I would have made for a much different movie.
That would have made a really good Gilligan's Island episode.
That's how they crashed on the island because Jaws took them out.
Or that's how they get off the island is Jaws eats them all.
Well, that's dark.
I like it. It was. I know I'm gonna know it as soon as I hear it.
I'm not looking at the answer because I don't know it yet.
I don't know.
The orca. Dang.
The orca. God. Like I knew it was like as soon as I hear it because I was like I want to say it was like some sort of fish, but then I couldn't remember which one.
That's why I was thinking minnow, and I'm like that's not it. It's like the complete opposite of that.
The complete opposite of minnow. Killer whale. Like,
yeah. The orcas. All right. The score is 2-1.
2-1. All right.
Oh wait, no, it was 1-1, right?
Yes. And then you got
no,
one.
because I got TV.
It's 2-1.
It's 2-1.
Because you got TV,
okay.
so it's 2-1.
Listen. All right.
All right.
Next question.
How many people associated with The Exorcist died during production?
This is a guess. I know it happened. This is a guess. 3?
It's a multiple of 3. 9.
9
people associated with the filming died. 2 actors died during production, and then 7 people related to either crew members or cast died during the production of The Exorcist.
Dang.
Also, the set burned down during the production of The Exorcist, and oddly enough, the only set that remained standing after the fire was Regan's bedroom, which is really creepy.
I was never into The Exorcist. I found it to be one of the most boring movies I had ever seen, but I did watch it when I was like 13 years old, so I did not have the like. I'm like, where's the people chopping people up and stabbing
like, where's
people?
The stabbing and the demons?
I was not. I was not prepared for like the thriller, religious drama of what The Exorcist presented to people.
Also, it was like one of those ones where my parents were like, that movie was really scary when it came out. And then I saw it in when I was like 17 or 18 and I was like, bet, okay. How is this scary? I guess if you're Catholic, it's scary, but I'm not. So I'm like, this is cool. It's really cool. But I'm like, it wasn't scary.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
This one's not. This one. Okay, there are 2 fairly easy questions. One is a television question.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you pick 1 or 2, and I'll give you whichever question you ask for.
I might be screwing myself, but 2.
Who is the actual father in the movie Rosemary's Baby?
The devil. Satan.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Satan. You got that wrong.
Satan.
It's Satine.
Satine.
Yeah. No, you totally got that. The other question was, what are the names of the demon hunting brothers in the television series Supernatural?
Oh my God.
George and Wilbur.
Yeah. So he's demon Sammy.
Yeah. So is demons.
So he's demon Sammy. Also, I haven't watched Supernatural, but I do know the names of the characters.
It's super easy. So now you have 2, I have 2. We're tied up once again.
Tied again. This is getting intense. All right.
That's right. What do you got?
All right. So Which horror movie actress slept in bloody clothing for 3 days to nail the look of a particularly gory scene?
I have no clue. I mean, that could be anybody.
That could be really anybody.
You
want to take a guess at it? Take a crack at it? Yeah. Sissy Spacek and Carrie. Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, that's the most bloody girl that I could imagine. Well, hot damn.
Can you imagine having to sleep in all that corn syrup?
Oh, she was so sticky. Like, I have put corn syrup blood on me. Like, I have done zombie makeup where I've done the corn syrup stuff. That stuff dries within 20 minutes, and it is just sticky gum. Yeah. So, like, and I got like hairy arms and stuff and hairy legs. So like me and my friend, we did zombies. We were zombies, and like I had like shredded clothes and shredded jeans and stuff, and we caked our legs and stuff and our arms and my face in this blood. And then like it dried, and when you like straightened your arm, you could just hear all your arm hair rip from your body because it was stuck to the clothes. Oh my gosh. So
I bet it made the zombie sound realistic though.
No.
Just straighten your arm and you're like, like that's a really good zombie sound.
We dressed up for a zombie crawl downtown Reno, and we were pretty legit. Like we looked good, but it was really cold and that stuff dried really fast and it was painful.
So she was I can imagine like you need to shower for like a week, especially because she was like from the prom scene. She
just
was
a hot bath. You just soak. And just let it
sit. And just somebody comes in every once in a while, just dumps more hot water on you, and you're like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in here for a while. I might have to shave my head.
Let's go.
All right, 3-2.
Oh, it's a Carrie question.
Oh,
it's like we planned this. We did not. Which Carrie from 1976, original Carrie, star also plays Linda in the original 1978 film Halloween?
Oh, Linda is PJ Souls plays Linda in Halloween.
PJ Souls. Perfect. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Oh, this is more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be.
This is heating up.
I know. So what are we at?
I think we're at 3-3. Somebody want to keep track in the chat?
I'm pretty sure we're 3-3.
I'm pretty sure we're 3-3, but somebody wants to keep track in the chat. Okay. All right, let's see. That one's an easy one. Okay, hold on. We'll give you this. All right, so let's do this one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for just giving it to me.
What was almost the title of the original Friday the 13th movie?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I thought you were gonna say Halloween. I'm like, the Babysitter Murders. Shoot. Like I know it, but it's like Long Night at Camp Crystal Lake or something like that.
You almost got it. I kind of want to give you that one because it's Long Night at Camp Blood. Which
I knew it.
Really freaking close. Like, I don't know. Like, should we give that one to it? I feel like
let's let the chat decide. Do I get that?
Let Jason have that one. He had almost more than half of it.
Long Night at Camp, and then I just threw in Crystal Lake. I didn't know they had gone straight up to Camp Blood. It's got a death curse.
This has a sometimes dead is better.
That's Pet Sematary.
It is.
And then you got Herman Munster saying it. Sometimes dead
is better.
I did not watch the remake of that.
I didn't watch it either.
Because the first one traumatized me, guys. It traumatized me.
So the part
So they're saying I'm getting it. They're saying I can have it.
I think that's fair. You had more than half of it. You got the last two words wrong, but you got more. That's more than half.
Yeah.
The only the part that traumatized me, is this messed up? I got more upset with the cat dying in Pet Sematary than when the kid got hit by a semi.
The kid messes me up now.
Gage as a
being
parent,
run down and seeing a small tiny baby body in a casket, that messes me up. It's Zelda that screwed my head up. Rachel. No.
Like,
I could hear that voice in my nightmares. Rachel. Nope.
You're like, nope. I don't like it. I hate it.
No.
I hate everything about it.
That, and again, like the kid dying, that's one thing. But when the kid like slashes Herman Munster's Achilles heel,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Like, no.
What? No. Oh hell no. Can't do it. Traumatizing. All right. Oh man. We are like on the ball, man. My question apparently is not that one. They're all stuck together. There we go. What is the name of the cat in Pet Sematary?
Oh God.
I got this one. I knew this one right off the bat.
What is the cat's name? Now I'm stuck with the kid's name.
Gage.
Gage was the kid, which is a stupid name he should have gotten.
And the sister's name is Zelda, and her other sister's name is Rachel.
Gosh dang it. It was a cute kitty too. I know the name of the real cat that played the new one.
What is it?
Was Leo. He was the Maine Coon. It was 3 Maine Coons that played. Yeah.
Don't type the answers in the chat until we've answered them.
Shadow? I don't know.
It's a good guess.
Because it was Black Cat, I'm pretty sure.
Church.
God dang it. Because I remember seeing the promo shots for the new one, and it was 3 different cats that played Church in the new one.
I believe it.
Dang it. It's a cat question. How did I get that one wrong?
I don't know. I knew that one, though. Like, it was in my head.
All right. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Which 3 horror films did serial killer Ed Gein inspire?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho.
Ding, ding, ding.
Boom. Boom. Man, I'm doing way better than I thought. Like, guys, I didn't think I was going to come here and like rock every, like, it's very, it's been so long since I've been able to do like trivia, especially horror movie trivia, that I was like, I'm just going to suck at this.
Me too. I was like, I haven't seen
and I love the fact
in a long time.
that both of us are like matching each other. I think it's 4-3 though.
I think it is 4-3. You got a one up
one ahead. Like, yeah. I can't go to sleep on this, guys.
Can't slumber.
Okay. Here it is. I mean, these are both really good questions. Either one of these is okay. Okay. So we're just gonna say The Exorcist.
Okay.
Was the first horror movie to be nominated for what in 1974?
It's the first horror movie to be nominated for an Oscar.
An Academy Award or the Oscar. There you go. The other question was Psycho was the first American film to show what? That's a bonus. Like,
a shower scene.
Close. A toilet.
A toilet. That's right.
That was
the bathroom. I know something around the bathroom because it was like,
look, people poop.
And honestly, also in Psycho, I don't know if anybody knows. You probably know, Jason, because I
know everything about Psycho.
Like so Psycho was able to be filmed in color because it was made in 1960. But Hitchcock chose to film it in black and white because he thought the tone was better. He thought that it set the atmosphere. It made it more scary to film it in black and white. But the problem was the blood in the shower scene was not showing up correctly on camera because it would blur into the thing and it wasn't showing up on the black and white film. So what did they use instead?
Chocolate syrup.
Yep. They used chocolate syrup. They used Hershey's chocolate syrup in the blood scene, in the shower scene, because the red Caro syrup blood was not showing up on camera.
Yep. And he probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble had he done it in color with all that blood. as tame as it may be for today's audiences, to show like bright red blood and all that kind of stuff. He probably would have gotten an
He was already pushing the boundaries.
He would have gotten an X rating on that thing, because X ratings are not reserved for like porn movies. They are reserved for like, we can show this to the peoples.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
The children.
There was a clutching of pearls. Well, Cannibal Holocaust was rated X when it came out, so there was really no sex in that. There was nudity in it, but it was just because it was so brutal and so like awful and violent.
All right, so we're back to 4-4.
We're back to tied up. All right. Okay, hold on. What fictional town does Nightmare on Elm Street take place in?
Springfield.
Oh, you were close. Springwood, Ohio.
Springwood?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna Google it just to make sure, but that's what I got.
Springfield.
I thought it was too. Then I like had to double check myself. Hold on.
I thought it was the same as The Simpsons. But
I thought it was too because I thought that was funny. Like I was like, oh.
I think you're right though. I think it's Springwood. We're double checking, guys.
Double checking. Fact check.
Because we're both unsure.
Because it's that Mandela effect where I'm like, wasn't it Springfield? Like I feel like it was Springfield. Springwood. It's for a so for a bonus point, what was the address of Nancy's house?
I can't remember. I'm going to say I did not get this one. But again, Nightmare on Elm Street, I say again, like I think I talked to Crow about this. Crow was all about Nightmare on Elm Street. He was a Freddy freak. And I was a Michael Myers guy with Jason coming in a close second. I was not really big on Friday the 3rd or on Nightmare on Elm Street, except for the first movie and New Nightmare. I thought was very
New Nightmare
good.
Was really well done
because it was like a total reimagining of everything that Nightmare on Elm Street was. So I will take the L on that one, guys.
Okay. So we're still at 4-4, right?
We are still at 4-4.
Okay.
Give me a second. Making sure to post the link to support the Dead Hours in the chat. Don't forget, guys, we got merch here. Really cool merch for the Dead Hours. We also got PayPal link and like links to the Instagram, all that kind of stuff. You want to keep up with what Vivian's doing here on the Dead Hours. You need to subscribe to all that stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Woohoo! Here we go.
Woo-hoo. All right.
I almost showed you the answer. Both of these are very interesting that I
might be in trouble. Oh shit. Okay.
I don't know the answer to these ones.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm gonna go with the harder of the two because the first one kind of a giveaway.
Okay.
Yep. I'll tell you what it is after.
Okay.
Reverend Cotton Marcus participates in a documentary trying to expose individuals who fake being possessed in this 2010 supernatural horror film.
2010. Okay. I haven't seen a lot of the newer.
I know it's kind of out of our expertise area.
And it's a documentary. Okay.
No, it is not.
It's probably like documentary style.
Listen, because it's 2010, like I'm not gonna it's The Last Exorcism.
Oh, The Last Exorcism. Okay.
Yeah. See, guys,
I don't even know that one.
It's kind of outside of our realm of expertise. So we're going to move on to the other question. This will be the question. What is the name of the ancient horned demonic spirit who punishes those who have lost the Christmas spirit?
Krampus. He's Daddy Krampus.
Super easy, but it gives you the lead.
Also, Krampus ist ein what was it? I know like a couple things in German, and one of them is something very inappropriate, but I know it in German, and it's meine Schwanz ist ein Flammenwerfer. I'm not going to say what it means, but we could also change that to der Krampus ist ein Flammenwerfer, which means the Krampus is a flamethrower.
True.
You in the bag.
All right.
You
Give
ready?
me my next question. We gotta try and tie it up again. Right now, I've got 4. You've got 5.
All right. Which popular horror film was inspired by real events that took place in Gainesville, Florida in the early 90s?
Oh, I have no clue. Gainesville, Florida. Popular horror movie in the 90s. In the 90s.
In the 90s. I have faith in you. You got this. Horror film from the 90s.
Read me the question one more time.
Sure. Which popular horror film, hold on, was inspired by real events that took place in Gainesville, Florida in the early 90s?
I have no clue.
It was Scream.
I was going to say that.
So,
I was going to say that because, like, early 90s, you're like, okay, that's Scream territory. But
so Scream came out in 1994.
Like, the Florida thing threw me off.
Right.
And I knew of like, a true crime thing that was inspired by Scream.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't know. Dang.
So it's Danny Rolling, the Gainesville slasher, serial killer that was active in Gainesville, Florida in the early 1990s. Apparently inspired the Scream franchise.
Gotcha.
But he didn't call people on the phone, so I don't.
Now I'm gonna have to like bring my game back up, guys. I'm falling behind.
Oh no.
Next question for the Vivianster. What horror television series was created by Ryan Murphy, who also created the TV series Glee?
American Horror Story.
Boop, boop, boop.
I'm
Great. Now she's 2 ahead.
Sorry, my thing is. Am I lagging really bad?
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to close this really quick because I think it's causing me to lag out.
Okay.
Also, my connection is kind of bleh.
But
let me see. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Okay.
Much better. Much
better. Okay. So
all right, I'm 2 behind, guys. I gotta catch up.
All right, hold on.
What do we got?
I got to pull up. All right, let me go to my document over here. All right, so what is the name of the original killer in the Saw series? So the guy.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry, spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't know that. It's not the puppet.
Jigsaw is the puppet, right? Yes. Or the Jigsaw killer.
Jigsaw's killer.
The Saw series I respect, but I did not really like super get into.
I liked the first one and the second one, and then after that it was like bleh.
I'm gonna have to say I don't know. I want to say it's like Tobin.
John Kruger.
Not right. Yeah, I would have never got that.
I never would have gotten that.
I would have never gotten that.
Nope.
So now I'm 3 behind, guys. I'm just terrible.
Somebody said, Tamara said, that explains how the Glee guy became a main character in HS. Also, if you've noticed, and I've pointed this out to certain people, Ryan Murphy definitely has a type that he likes to cast as far as like his male leads. A lot of them look alike. So he has Dylan McDermott in season 1, which is now known as Murder House. And then he has Cheyenne Jackson, Matt Bomer. I'm trying to think who are the other ones. There's like, if you look at them, they're all dark hair, light eyes. All of them. Zachary Quinto, like all of them. I was like,
That's right, DJ Bombshell. Poor Pumpkin Spice Jason. I was riding high, and then I like gloated for a second, and now I've just been knocked down.
Oh no!
And all my questions are coming up like super easy. This one's super easy. In the movie Devil, where were 5 characters trapped in most of the movie?
In an elevator.
Yeah. That's the hardest one on the card. The other one was, what is the name of the possessed doll in The Conjuring? Like, come on. Like,
we know. We've been new. And it's not a creepy doll. It's a Raggedy Ann. in the actual museum.
Which is way creepier.
That is I don't know why they changed it. I'm like, why did you change it from a freaking?
I would assume it's because they couldn't get like the rights to Raggedy Ann. But they didn't even try to like make it look like Raggedy Ann. They had to like really
I was
go
like, at least make it look like a creepy cloth doll that somebody got like at I don't know. All right.
I think my questions are too easy. Here's the problem. I think I relied too heavily on the experts. And Vivian's just coming out being like, bam!
In what movie does someone get hit in the face with an axe while listening to Hip to Be Square?
I have no idea. I don't even know that song. It's
Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah, let me see. Hitting the face with an axe.
With an axe.
To be square.
Hip to Be Square.
The only movie I know of where someone gets hit in the face with the axe is in Friday the 13th. So I have no idea.
It's American Psycho.
Yeah, I watched that movie once. It wasn't for me.
I guess I watched that movie once. It wasn't for me. All right,
I'm gonna lose, guys.
Here's the thing. Okay, we won't even count that one because I don't consider American Horror Story, I don't consider American Psycho a horror movie.
I don't either.
So let's see. Let me see. Okay.
That's right. It was absolutely Back to the Future Awoken one.
It was Back to the Future.
We all know the truth.
We just asked about, so let's look at this one. So which on-screen adaptation of a book fell flat according to Stephen King?
Oh, easy. I say easy, and then like immediately, woof. The only thing I can think of is the Dead Zone. And I'm like, that's absolutely not it. It's The Shining. It's The Shining.
It's The Shining.
It is very famous for him not liking.
He did not care for The Shining at all.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
You just need to read the book. And he redid it as a ABC miniseries later down the line. And it's more faithful to the book, but still, like, just go read the book. Just go read the book, guys.
The book is much better. I don't know. Like, it's really stupid. I did not like, and I was like, there's so much that wasn't in the book that was like, they changed the ending and everything. And I was like, what?
And I don't have a major problem with the movie. I don't like Kubrick anyway. Like, he's just not a filmmaker that's really resonated with me ever.
Me either.
And there's nothing wrong with the story he was telling. Don't get me wrong. Like, he told a very creepy story, all that kind of stuff. I feel though, if you were going to adapt somebody else's work into another medium, you should respect it a little bit more than Kubrick respected Stephen King's work.
Exactly. If you're taking things, and anyone as an author or anyone as like coming from like source material goes, okay, you do have to make creative choices as a director. That's something that happens with source material. You can't include everything. If anyone's read the book you'll know exactly the scene I'm talking about, that you can't include everything in a movie, although
it's the scene. Okay, so in It, the book, my son, who's like 13, he really wants to read It, really wants to start getting into the whole Stephen King thing. He wants to start with It. And every time my wife's like, should we let him read it? And I'm like, no. There's literally a scene in the book that will be demonetized if we talk about it. But it includes children, it includes sex, and it includes he should not read this.
A tall glass of Nope is what it includes.
It's all at the end of the movie, or at the end of the book too. Like, it's the big reveal. The only way we can stop the creature is because we done this.
And I was like, really, Stephen King? Really? Did we
Stephen
run out
King's
of ideas?
got problems.
Here's the thing. Okay, to be fair,
he's not perfect. He is not a perfect writer. Not. We're not saying that.
And to be fair, the man was also on cocaine for a good portion of
on the cocaine,
like, the 80s.
On the cocaine,
all of it.
Where he's like, I'm a writer. When did
I wrote
happen?
things.
No, there are full books where he's like, I don't remember writing this. the Tommy knockers.
Bachman.
He's like, I didn't remember writing.
No, he didn't remember Tommy knockers and the Bachman stuff. A lot of the Bachman stuff, like Maximum Overdrive, he's like, I barely remember writing this.
He directed that movie. Come on.
He's like, I barely remember that. I remember
First and last time.
Hi, Nunu. Okay, so whose turn is it? Is it your turn? Nope. Yes, Jason is wearing his Nope shirt. Ollie.
I don't change my clothes between live streams. That's weird.
I just have my Poltergeist shirt on.
They're here.
That's what it says on it.
Is it my turn?
I think it's your
turn.
For
you? My turn for you?
I think so.
Which 1958 creature feature starred Steve McQueen in his first role?
Ooh.
It's kind of classic.
I'm going to go with the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Just because that seems like the right way to go.
It's close.
But I'm probably wrong.
The Blob.
The Blob. Gosh dang it.
I would not have gotten that. I think we've gotten to the point where we don't care about the score, guys.
I know, right? We're just
having fun, like talking about the horror movies that these things bring up. So what's your next question?
Okay, my next question.
I have given up. I give up. Vivian won.
In the towel. What 1922 film was heavily based on Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Nosferatu?
Correct. As a matter of fact, it was
Shadow of the Vampire.
Yes, I love that movie. I love that movie. So no, it is Nosferatu. So in fact, it was so closely based that actually Bram Stoker's heirs sued the filmmakers because they didn't get the rights for the film, for the book, for the material, and it resulted in most. Yeah, and it resulted in most of the copies of the film actually being destroyed. So notes. Make sure you get the rights to make somebody's stuff.
Weird. Going back, just separating from Stephen King. Yeah. One of the cool things one of the cool things that Stephen King does is he's got what is known as the dollar babies. Have you ever heard of the dollar babies?
No.
As a writer, you should know what the dollar babies are. They are a list of his works, mostly his short stories and stuff, that he will release the rights to you for $1. And you have 1 year in which to make that movie, that short film, that whatever. And you have full rights. You have full rights to it. And you can make it there's limitations. Like you can like put it into like film festivals and stuff, but you can't like sell it to a distributor or anything. Right. It's mostly just so you can like basically be like, my short film is inspired by Stephen King and gets your name out. Like, look, I can do this. So you go on his website and he's got like a list of dollar babies where you pay $1 and you have the rights to that movie and you can make it into a short film that you're not going to make money off of. It's got to be completely for the step into the world of filmmaking kind of thing. I had a dollar baby for a bit. I wrote a script. I was planning on making that short film and everything just kind of fell apart in terms of getting it organized and getting it going. But I still have that script. It's really good in my opinion. So yeah, Stephen King's Dollar Babies.
I feel like it needs to happen. I feel like Jason's movie needs to happen.
It's true.
Make it happen.
Vivian can star in it.
I can. I'm a terrible.
No, you absolutely could because the main character like totally could be you. Easy.
I was like, as long as I don't have to act too hard because I was a film. I was a film and theater major, but apparently so as a theater major at my college I went to, you were required to audition for at least 2 plays or 2 productions like per semester. And I auditioned for a not Shakespeare, it's Shakespeare adjacent. It was Edward II. It's Shakespearean, but it wasn't written by Shakespeare. It was Shakespeare adjacent. So I auditioned for one and I didn't even get a non-speaking extra. I didn't even get role of tree. So apparently I'm not that good of an actor. So I don't know.
Listen, you just got to find the right project.
Exactly. Horror movie, I think I could do. Shakespeare, apparently not so much.
I need to replenish my beverage of apple juice in a can. So, Vivian, take this time to tell the people where they can support your channel and what you have coming down the pipeline.
Yes. So while Jason takes a brief break for a beverage refresher, I wanted to kind of update you guys. So as I just fumble on my words, we've been basically posting the link in the chat all night long. So if you guys feel like supporting, of course, it's never required. I appreciate everybody that has contributed to the PayPal, that has bought merch tonight. Super appreciate you guys. All that I ever ask is that you guys share the videos, share things out, make sure. Oh, I just hit the caps lock. Hold on one second. I'm trying to put the link in there. I know you guys have been putting it up, but there's the link again. So there's a couple ways to support the channel. There's PayPal, there's merch, and then there's just sharing the video. There's just sharing word of mouth, post it on your socials, all of that sort of thing. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. Yes, we're both scriptwriters and Awakened Ones. I think we both went to film school, actually. So Jason and I have a lot in common as far as like film background. And also, so what is coming up next for Dead Hours? I'm going to be going back into interviews for season 2 on Paraflix with some new teams and some new content on there. If you guys subscribe to that, there will be new interviews posted soon. And also, there's going to be next week a new true crime episode for Murder Corner. So I took my break. I did a cannibal one, and now we're going to do a different one that's like kind of a fun old-timey mystery.
Ooh, old-timies.
Old-timey indeed.
Well, awesome.
Okay.
I did not go to film school, by the way.
Oh, you did not go to film school. Okay, so I did, but I didn't finish.
I subscribe to the very classic and very true quote from Quentin Tarantino when he was asked, "Did you go to film school?" He said, "No, I went to films."
Yes.
That's what.
Here's the thing that people will not tell you: film school is not required to make films. And if I'd have known that back when I was in my 20s, I would have not gone. Because
here's what I think about film school as someone who has not gone. So take this with a grain of salt. But this is what I've learned over the years of being in kind of like the film world and paying attention super closely to the film world, is that film school is good for people who learn in a classroom environment.
Yes.
It is good for hands-on experience, because if you're going to film school, you're going to be like in it, like that's going to be your world.
Yeah.
And people getting connections to other people. That is what film school is for.
Primarily the reason is that because your professors have connections and that's it. Like honestly.
But you don't need to go to film school to make films. You don't need a film school to get into things. You just need the drive. So it really just depends on you as a person. I, as a person, came into it way late because I was like, oh, look, like cameras and sound equipment and stuff, they're accessible now. Like the price point has dropped, the quality has risen to the point where anybody could really jump into. I mean, I shoot a whole YouTube show on my phone, guys. Like it's gotten to the point where the accessibility to get into it is one thing, and then you just need to decide which outlet is going to produce the most for you. If you learn best in a classroom, film school might be for you. It's expensive, but there you go. If you just learn by doing, you jump on Facebook and start being like local film productions, like local film groups, whatever. Who needs help with what? Let's learn as we go. And that's kind of how I went about doing things.
Also, like read books, like check out, like there's the Screenwriter's Bible. There's like, if you're doing screenwriting,
there's YouTube.
There's all kinds of books on like how to do film, how to do angles. There's YouTube tutorials on how to do different camera angles, how to do different shots. All of that stuff you can learn now via YouTube. You do not need to go to school for any of that stuff. Just grab a camera and go out and make films. Steven Spielberg didn't go to films, like he did, but he dropped out. Like he started going to film school and he dropped out. and the man has like how many Oscars? Like quite a few. And
many.
well,
stop bogarting all the Oscars.
Stop bogarting all the Oscars, Steven. Like seriously. Whose turn is it?
I think it's.
Whose turn is it?
My last one was The Blob.
The Blob. Okay, so it's my turn then. So you asked that one. Okay, so let's go with horror movie quotes.
Ooh, here we go.
So these can be taglines from films, or these can be quotes from the films. So, in space, no one can hear you scream.
Alien.
It's one of my favorite horror movies. I watched it on Halloween.
There you go. My next question is stupid easy. This 1982 film contained a scene where a young boy is dragged under his bed by a clown doll that comes to life.
Poltergeist. I hate that fucking scene.
There's a reason why I do not do clowns, and it is that scene. Because I grew up, for some reason, my mom thought, let's decorate my son's room with clowns. So it was a lot of clowns everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that clown doll, I had a clown doll that was very similar. We're talking like, if I showed you a picture of the clown doll real quick and then showed you a picture of my doll real quick, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
I hate that.
And then I watched Poltergeist, and that clown came to life, and I was like, nope, we need to change the whole aesthetic of my room, Ma, because it ain't happening. No. And I still do not do clowns. Either. Period.
Funny story. So when we were in Tonopah, you know this story because the Clown Motel is in Tonopah, and nope. It is straight nope. That is that place. I'm like,
that's a nope with 4 walls, a ceiling, and 17 million bed bugs.
That is nope.
I've stayed there. I know.
Yeah, Jason's like, it's not haunted and it has bed bugs. I'm like, oh God, it's terrifying. So I would rather sleep in the cemetery that's next door. I would feel safer in the cemetery that's next to the Clown Motel. As a matter of fact, when we were doing a EVP session in the cemetery a long time back when I was doing my podcast, at the time we heard a little sound of a clown horn, like while we were doing an EVP session. When we played it back, we heard a, and I was like, what was that? I did not care for that. Like literally out.
Vivian's in the car.
Like, bye. Like already gone. They're like,
everybody else is like,
oh, the car's gone.
Where did she go?
Like, oh, I guess
she left us here.
She left us here. All right, so I guess is it my turn? That's a hard nope, honestly.
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay, so taglines. We're gonna go back to taglines. So the tagline, what is the movie poster? I'm gonna ask you this one. So I'm not gonna give you the tagline this time. You're gonna have to tell me the tagline. What is the movie poster tagline for the film House, released in 1986?
Oh shoot, I love House.
I love House too.
Oh man, I know this poster so well. What is that tagline? Because it's the hand is
with the doorbell,
doing the thing. Every house has a story. I don't know. I can't remember. I cannot remember.
Ding dong, you're dead.
Oh shoot! Even better.
House. You're like,
House
I
is
like
so
every
good.
house tells the story.
George went as like the very earnest neighbor who just wants to hang out with the greatest American superhero, and freaking he finally comes in, and freaking the like creature comes out of this closet, and George Wendt is just, and he's like he's so taken aback, and they knock it back into the closet or whatever. And he's like, what was that? And he's like, oh, it was it's a raccoon. I got a raccoon in my closet. And he's like, raccoon, Raj. And he's so taken aback that it's one of the funniest scenes in film history for me is George Wendt just like trying to like gather himself after seeing this demonic thing come out of a closet. And then the whole series like gets weird.
Yeah.
Because like it's House 2's good, but it's so different from House 1 that you're just like, how are these sequels? Because literally they have nothing to do with each other at all.
They don't. Yeah.
And then House 3 brings back the old greatest American superhero as his character, but like completely different. And it really has nothing to do with either one of the first two movies. And then there's House 4, which isn't even House 4. It's a movie that did so poorly. They're just like, well, to sell this movie overseas, we're just going to call it House 4.
Like, we're just going to tack that on and just like, because people recognize the name. So we're like, we're just going to coast off of the name. It has nothing to do with it.
And we're going to make a couple bucks and we're going to move on with our lives.
We're going to call it quits.
And that is the horror show, I think, is what it was originally called. And then they're like, well, this isn't working out. We're just going to call it House 4.
House 4.
So like houses or horror in general from like the 70s to the 80s when they were going franchise crazy. Like, it didn't matter what your movie was. If they could remotely find a way to attach it to a franchise.
To tie it into a series.
Because, like, if something went popular, they're just like, listen, Joe Jorgensen has a script. Let's just call it the second part of this franchise and just keep making money off of the name itself. That is it.
Which explains one of the Halloween movies, the one that I don't like.
3 is good. Girl,
I don't like that one.
You don't like it because it's called Halloween 3. If it was just called Season of the Witch, you would probably think it's an okay movie.
I probably would, because Michael Myers isn't in it, so I was expecting Michael Myers in a Halloween movie.
And that's neither here nor there. It's still a good flick. It's still creepy. Them kids' faces turn into bugs and snakes. Like,
they
come
do.
on.
But
now.
if it was just called Season of the Witch and it was about, like, fine, don't call it Halloween then.
Well, Michael Myers was dead. You had either let's just attach a name to this film that is a franchise series and make money, or they're just like, we don't care what happened in the last movie. Michael Myers just alive again, and he's just going to keep turning alive again, and who cares as long as we can just keep making money and cashing checks and all that kind of stuff.
That's what happened with
everything. That's what happened with everything.
Every franchise. When Jason goes to outer space in Jason X.
Listen, that was a fun movie.
I'm not denying it was fun, but
it was fun, but it makes no damn sense. No damn sense,
all.
guys. Is it my turn? It's my turn.
I think it's your turn.
Let's see. I don't know any of those, so I'm skipping that. What 1983 slasher film ended with a gender-bending twist by the lakeside? Girl, you know this movie. Come on. What 1983 slasher film ended with a gender-bending twist by the lakeside that messed me up?
Wasn't it? It was Friday the 13th.
No.
Or was
close.
It Texas Chainsaw?
No. Stay on the Friday the 13th vein.
Okay.
It was like inspired by. Nope.
Oh.
It was like, what? She's a what?
Oh, was it Sleepaway Camp?
Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp. Okay, this movie messed me up.
I was actually going to ask you a Sleepaway Camp question too.
That movie, if you've never seen Sleepaway Camp, so Sleepaway Camp, very Friday the 13th inspired kind of thing. It's a summer camp filled with preteens and stuff, and people watching kids who should never watch kids. And
apparently, don't send your kids to camp in the 80s. Like, it was just
the whole point of it is there's this bullied girl who's just bullied, and the people who are bullying her end up meeting their demise. Now she's got like a cousin or a brother or whatever with her, and so people are like, oh, it's him. Everybody who teases his sister or his cousin or whatever is meeting their end because he's like, no, I'm going to defend her, whatever. Spoiler warning. It turns out to be her doing the things, but it's not a her, it's a he, because the last scene of the movie is her like revealed with her ding dong hanging out.
Yep.
As a child of 13 watching this movie for the first time, guys, it's the first time I ever saw a penis on film. Because let's be real, guys. Let's be real. The female body is exposed on film all the damn time. You never saw the male body exposed on film. So this is the first time where I'm like, that's a penis.
Holy moly, that's a wiener.
And it's attached to a female head. because like there's a whole backstory there, guys, that I'm not even going to get into.
Yeah,
it's psychotic how it is, but this is the most craziest reveal in my life, and it
was
messed
like The
me up
Crying
as a
Game,
kid.
but if The Crying Game was a horror movie.
Exactly, because I was just confused. I was like, what, when, where,
this
how
happens? What?
Who, what, huh? And I've actually met that girl. She goes to horror conventions all over the place.
Is it Felissa Rose?
Yeah, she's very lovely
a gem.
lady.
Yes.
Very lovely lady. But like, to be famous for like literally there are Halloween masks of the face she makes, because it wasn't just the fact that this girl was revealed to be like a boy being a girl, like, but the face she has, like, me seeing a penis on film at 13, like that was surprising, because I'm like, well, this isn't usual.
Like, this is not,
but it's the face of like it's like her face is so wrong. Like everything about it is just like, what is that? What is that face she's doing? Because it's so scary. Because you're like, people don't do that. It is one of the most mind-blowing endings to a film I've ever seen in my entire life, and to experience that as like a 13-year-old boy,
just mind just blown
Sleepaway
out.
Camp. And there's sequels, but the sequels were always garbage.
The sequels were trash.
And even like, I'll be honest, Sleepaway Camp is not great. It's not well acted. It's pretty cheesy, near B movie quality. But the twist at the end just kind of makes like, you're just like, nope, I'm here for it. It's good.
Like, nope, yep, this is what happens. This is it.
Oh, so good.
Oh my god.
So good. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. I haven't. It's just it's so crazy. And it's so wrong. Everything about that movie is wrong. There's like adults just like trying to get with kids the whole movie, and you're just like, nothing about this movie. You're like,
none about this is okay. Like
nothing. Like, I sympathize with the girl who killed everybody, because I'm like, no, they all deserved it.
Yeah, you're like, it's one of those where you're like, I don't feel bad. Like, I'm supposed to feel bad. I don't feel bad.
Yeah, sure, you're good. You're good. Kill them all.
you're like, bravo, girl, get them, go slice them up.
Yep. All right, I think it's my turn. I don't know. We've lost count.
I know.
If you haven't supported the haunted side, but that's not what we're here for. The dead hours. Who am I here?
What's happening?
What quote is that movie from? It's a horror movie quote. Who am I here? What is that?
So one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Stepfather. So Stepfather is a horror movie where this dude is like being the stepfather to a family. He meets a girl who's got kids, and he like romances them, and he marries them very quickly. But then he also has another family that he's done that to.
Yeah.
And he gets murderous and stuff. He ends up killing them, and then he moves on to another family or whatever. But in this movie, he's got two of those families going. And at one point, he gets confused at which one he's at. And he says something. This is like at the climax of the movie. And the wife is like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "That's right. Who am I here?" Anyway. And then he and it's like stabs him. It's one of my favorite. Who am I here?
Who am I here?
Anyway,
Garbage Day is one of my favorite ones. That movie.
Garbage Day.
That movie sucks.
Pancake. Anyway,
speaking of movies that sucks, the Leprechaun franchise. Like, I'm sorry, the franchise is freaking terrible.
Listen, I don't care what horror movie franchise you like. You liked it because it started out strong and it went south real fast. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
There is not one horror movie franchise that doesn't have that dip.
Yeah. Speaking of, all right, we're gonna do another quote one.
All right.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
And they're very horny. They've been dead a long time. That's right at the beginning of the movie. Douchebag.
Trips over.
Zombie doesn't even get him. He trips and falls, hits his head on a tombstone and dies.
Dipshit.
Oh, there goes my first green light.
Oh no.
We've been going that long. You killed a light.
Hold on.
Here we go. Let me get a good one. I mean, this is kind of easy. In Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, what is Jamie Lloyd's relation to Michael?
It's his niece.
Niece. The niece.
Which,
played by?
I don't know who it's played by.
I used to know who it was played by. She very much hates being left out of the new Halloween movies.
Does she?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. In the new Halloween, I guess Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends are the last two supposedly in the franchise, which Halloween Kills is the one that just came out. But I guess it cancels out everything except for the first one. To my knowledge, from what I've heard, it retcons.
It's Halloween and then Halloween and then Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends.
Okay, so it's Halloween 2, which takes place the same night as Halloween.
Halloween 2 doesn't exist in the new.
It retcons that one too. Okay, yep. I like.
It's only Halloween, and then Halloween Kills, and then the next one is Halloween Ends.
Okay, which that one's out next year, I think. Right?
Yes.
I haven't seen the new Halloween.
It's. Have you seen Halloween?
The remake of the.
No, the second
original
of whatever this is.
Because
again, it goes Halloween, 1978's Halloween,
H2O?
And then Halloween 2016.
Oh, the remake, the Rob Zombie one.
It's not a no. Oh
literally, no, then
there are 3 movies called Halloween now.
Then I'm very confused because I haven't seen that one. I saw Halloween H2O, but that was
Halloween H2O is different.
Yeah,
that's
different.
Halloween.
Yeah, and then I saw the Rob Zombie.
And then Rob Zombie did Halloween, and then Halloween 2. And then they're like, all right, we need to reboot this whole thing. So then they did Halloween.
I don't think I saw that.
And then Halloween Kills. And now they're coming out with Halloween Ends.
Okay.
Halloween, the Halloween one that came out a couple years ago, is basically Halloween 2. Because it takes place however many years after the original Halloween movie. But they just called it Halloween again. And it's Michael Myers. He's been locked up since the original Halloween movie. And he breaks loose and he starts killing people. Okay. And then Halloween Kills takes place during the same night.
Okay. So all right. Interesting.
So you're a little behind.
I'm behind then. Yeah. I was like, I got 3 movies to catch up on before the last one.
Yeah.
All right. Tony Todd is known for playing what character?
Candyman.
In the horror trilogy.
Candyman.
All I'm looking for is a man who's emotionally available and not filled with bees. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I don't think that is. Let's see. A lot of these questions are all very recent films, so I'm trying to find some better ones. Okay, what body part was the creature after in the movie Jeepers Creepers?
Oh, I hate those movies.
Those are good.
I hate Jeepers Creepers. I hate
Jeepers Creepers.
I will say that I hate the director of Jeepers Creepers for a lot of reasons, for other reasons.
Okay.
And I really hope he's in jail.
Probably.
Yeah, he's gross.
You got no guesses? Sing the song.
It the eyes, I think, right? It
Let
was
me
after
get
the
them
eyes.
peepers.
Let me snatch them eyeballs.
Eyeballs. Yeah, it's after the eyeballs.
The face balls, as it were. The balls of
windows
the
to the soul.
And that's what I hear. We made fun of that movie because we went and saw Jeepers Creepers 2 in theaters, and we just MST3K'd it because there were about 6 people in the theater going to see it. And also I was drunk because I had a whole bottle of wine in my backpack that I was drinking from a bendy straw.
That makes it worse.
I did make it so much worse. In which movie did mispronouncing Klaatu Barada Nikto result in a deadite attack?
Klaatu Barada. mostly said it. That would be the Army of the Dead.
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. Yeah. That movie, man, I did not really appreciate that movie all that much because I could not wrap my mind around. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
Evil Dead, and
I
then
love
Evil
Evil
Dead
Dead.
being Evil Dead 2 being like the same movie but weirder.
Yeah.
And then they're like Army of Darkness,
Make it a
like
comedy.
screw all this off. like
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like my mind, it came out at a time when I was trying to figure out what film was because I loved watching movies, but I didn't understand film and filmmaking and the idea of telling stories. Like all of that was coming around at the same time. So it was very confusing for me to watch a movie that was like The Evil Dead. And then I watched The Evil Dead 2 and I'm like, well, this is the same. This is like the exact same movie, but like funnier. Like, I don't understand this. And then you get Army of Darkness and you're like, wait, so this is Evil Dead 3, but it's like, it's so much different than this. And like, I was so confused because on top of that, I'm at the same time watching Clerks and like Pulp Fiction. And like, I'm trying to figure out like, what is film? Like film is not what I thought it was. Like I was very young and naive when it came to filmmaking, and Army of Darkness, Clerks, Pulp Fiction, all of these movies were things that like taught me like film can be whatever you want. Like it can be whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Like nothing matters in film. Like, and so like it was kind of a weird transitional thinking period for me when thinking about what films were.
Yeah. It was definitely weird because it was like one of the first movies that decided to do kind of really, or at least I don't know, the whole mashup of the horror comedy that was kind of like end up being a bigger genre. Like it kind of just didn't take itself seriously. And a lot of the horror movies at the time just took themselves really seriously. And then
it was also like an introduction to like what a cult film was.
Yes.
Because the mainstream media, or like not mainstream media, but mainstream film goers did not, embrace it. It was just this weird group of people that embraced it. And so I'm like, wait, so what is this now? Oh, it's a cult film.
What is this now? Oh,
like, okay, what is a cult film? And then a whole world was opened up. What'd the cat do?
Knock something over.
All right, here we go. What Spanish found footage film centers on a reporter and her cameraman trapped in a building whose occupants show animalistic and murderous, some may say zombie, behaviors? It's really good.
What is it? Oh, read the question again.
What Spanish found footage film centers on a reporter and her cameraman trapped in a building whose occupants show animalistic and murderous behavior?
I don't know that one. Oh, okay. I didn't see that one.
Record. It's so good. You should watch it. It is so good. And there was an American version made. I want to say it was called Quarantine. Also really good. Like surprisingly good when they're like, oh, this foreign film, like it did really well. So let's remake it in English.
They do that a lot, don't they?
It was surprisingly good. All the sequels are okay. There's a Rec 2 and a Rec 3, and I want to say a Rec 4. There's also a Quarantine 2 and 3, I think. I can't remember. I lost interest. But the Rec and Quarantine are both pretty good.
So, okay. What is the name of the main character in 1985's The Reanimator?
Oh, I've never seen The Reanimator.
Never seen The Reanimator?
No, I have not.
It's also loosely based on a H.P. Lovecraft story.
Well, there you go. Yeah, never seen it.
Never seen it.
What character is revealed to be the werewolf in the movie Silver Bullet?
That was a Stephen King short story, wasn't it? Silver Bullet?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, It's not called Silver Bullet. Stephen King wrote a Phases of the Moon, I want to believe it's called.
Yeah, it was something called.
It's not even a short story. He was tasked to write a calendar. Like people wanted, somebody wanted him to make a calendar where each month would be like an image and like a short, like kind of story attached to it. And so he's like, full moon, why not? And so he
werewolf story, right?
Yeah. And so he wrote it, and you can still buy it. It's like a picture book kind of thing, because they never made it into a calendar. They like passed on it. And that became Silver Bullet.
Interesting. So who's revealed to be the werewolf in Silver Bullet? I don't know if I remember the words Silver Bullet. I'm gonna go on a limb because I don't think I remember that particular werewolf movie, but I'm gonna say it's a child or teenager character. Nope. The priest.
The priest.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a priest. The child character played by who is it? One of the Coreys, Corey Haim.
Oh, Haim, the dead one.
Corey Haim, he's in a wheelchair. He figures out who done it because he ends up shooting the werewolf in the eye during one of the full moons, and then in the next, like a few days later, he sees the priest is now wearing has
an eye patch.
He's like, "Oh, it's you!"
Oh,
but
damn.
That movie messed me up when I was a kid because it was one of the first horror movies where children were dying, because one of the first or second person to be killed by the werewolf was a child, like a 11-year-old kid, and I was like, kids are safe. What are you talking about? Listen, Stephen King don't care about your kids. If they're in the way of something evil, they won't get
care at all. He's like, we discussed it earlier. Obviously,
it should have told you that.
He's like, fuck them kids. 2021.
Werewolf's gonna eat your kids. Clown's gonna eat your kids. Your kids ain't safe. Nobody is safe. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, Stephen King is like, his stories are horrifying, because nobody is safe. Nobody.
Yeah. Like,
Jason Voorhees would not kill kids at the camp. He would kill the teenagers who done something that he didn't feel was good or whatever.
You let me drown while you were busy hooking up or whatever. The 8-year-old
was safe. But Stephen King don't care. Like, if you were in the way of something evil, like, you are gone.
He literally had a semi-truck run over a 3-year-old in Pet Cemetery. So, yeah, no.
Don't think he cares.
Does not care at all. So what? Okay, hold on. What town do Sam and Michael move to in The Lost Boys?
Santa Clara?
Santa Carla.
Carla. See, that's the problem with Santa Carla. Oh, damn vampires.
Full of vampires. Full of Kiefer Sutherland vampires.
That's right. And shirtless, sweaty saxophone players.
Shirtless, sweat.
It was the 80s. It was weird, guys.
It was a weird time, y'all. Like, it was weird.
Let's see. Some of these are just so ridiculously easy. So easy. So easy.
Oh no.
Like, what is the substance dumped on the main character in the prom in the movie Carrie? Like, come on.
Pig's blood. Duh.
In what 1989 movie did Fred Gwynne tell his neighbor how he can make his son Gage live again? Like, we've talked about all these movies.
Pet Cemetery. Sometimes dead is better.
Let's see.
And then he did a Herman Munster laugh and like.
Here's a quote.
The cemetery.
Yeah. Here's a quote. Name the movie. We have such sights to show you.
Hellraiser.
Damn straight.
I love Clive Barker.
They're remaking that movie.
They're making it a series because he just got the rights back.
Well, what I saw was they were remaking Hellraiser, and that Pinhead is now a lady. It's Lady Pinhead.
Yep. Yeah, because Clive Barker, like, I guess the studio he made the original Hellraiser films with, he and them had, like, I don't know, some sort of like creative thing where they had the rights and he didn't have them, and he was trying to get them back for like 10 years. So he just got the rights back to the Hellraiser franchise. And they're apparently, from what I hear, they're trying to make it a series at HBO, which is going to be really freaking intense. Although, which is cool and all, but I want another Nightbreed movie.
I was just about to say, I never really got into Hellraiser. It wasn't one that I connected with. Nightbreed. I would love more Nightbreed.
That is goals.
Nightbreed was good stinking times, guys.
Like, literally, I want to cosplay as the porcupine lady from Nightbreed with the nostrils. Like,
do it. I am surprised we have like 26 people watching this thing. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. Thank you for watching us just kind of fumble and bumble our way through horror movie trivia late at night, for me at least. This has been a ton of fun, but I'm going to have to call it quits here shortly. So,
yeah, me too.
Remember, you need to subscribe to the Dead Hours, because the Dead Hours is not just two dopes talking about horror movies, as much fun as this is, but it's true crime stuff. It's mystery stuff that Vivian pours her heart and soul into. So make sure you subscribe. You hit that bell so you know when episodes are coming up. You're pretty good at being very consistent in your episodes, so it's a good show to watch week to week to week. Plus, you need to go back and watch all of her cult like episodes and like the weirdos that she's covered so far.
There are a lot of weirdos.
And Dan Tech says we need this more often. We'll try. Maybe we'll switch it up between Cemetery Road and the Dead Hours here and there. We'll do something fun, like
we'll pop on lives and have fun and just chill out.
But also, don't forget, we've been posting her link tree, so links to her merch, which is awesome, links to her Instagram, social media stuff, PayPal if you want to help support the excellent work she does. Make sure you do all of that stuff, guys, because channels like us who just kind of like float underneath everybody else, we need all the support we can get.
This is true. Also, shout outs for Cemetery Road. Their link for Cemetery Road, if you have not subscribed to Jason's channel, what are you even actually doing with your life? The link for Cemetery Road is in this video description, so please go support his link tree. His link tree is in the video description as well, so definitely go support what Jason does. Like, it's nothing like anything I've ever seen. Because nobody does, like, I've seen plenty of paranormal investigations in cemeteries, but I have not seen anybody do an actual travel blog, like, respectfully from cemeteries, because like it's great. It's the shots are beautiful, the cinematography is beautiful. He puts a lot of work into it. And don't stop it. Go subscribe, go watch, go buy the book, go do things. All the things.
I do have my picture, but I got to start working now that the new year is coming up. I'm going to be setting up volume 2 of my picture book.
He has a picture book.
You got a book, right?
I did get a book. He has stickers. He has pins. He has, like, go support, because it all goes to a good cause, because he buys the stuff to clean the tombstones of in these cemeteries that people have left just in conditions because no one is there to take care of them. So
yeah, it's good times. We're trying our best to bring you guys the best quality content that we are passionate about. So all the support to both of our channels is super, super appreciated. We love you guys, and thank you for hanging out in this live stream. So we're going to do one more question each, and then we're going to boogie out and go on with our lives. Don't forget, Vivian, you have a new episode coming out this week, correct?
Yes.
And then I have a new episode coming out tomorrow that is all stone cleaning all the time. It's like literally 15 minutes of me scraping gross stuff off of stones.
You could just do an ASMR channel of just that.
I did keep the audio in for me scraping the stones this time around. So there's a little bit of music underneath it, but it's a lot of like
that's ASMR, like
it
gold.
is. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thanks again for all the support you give our channels across the board.
Thank you everybody who's donated. Thank you everybody who's hung out tonight and watched us talk about horror movies, and
it's been fun.
Silly, and it's been fun, and we need to do it more often.
DJ Bombshell says my boss is hot.
I mean, stop.
You don't work for me, so I know who you're talking about.
Jason's like, well, it's fine.
It's fine. I'm okay. I don't need your approval.
I'm just gonna leave.
All right, throw me one more question, and then I'll throw a question at you.
All right. A British investigator ends up on a Scottish island where the inhabitants have abandoned Christianity for paganism. In which film?
Ooh. I don't know.
They did a really bad remake of this movie.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Give me a hint.
Bees in my mouth.
I really have no idea now. I have no idea. Is it the Wicker Man?
Wicker Man. Yeah,
well,
Wicker Man.
I've never watched the Wicker Man.
So bad, and he does literally say in that movie "bees in my mouth" and then punches a lady while he's wearing a bear costume. It is. I knew terrible.
That. I've never watched the Wicker Man. I've heard everything about it, kind of thing. Watch. What is that movie that just came out? That's basically Wicker Man.
Is it Midsummer?
Midsommar. Yeah. Go watch that. That's so good. And avoid Nicolas Cage punching people in a bear costume.
Punching people in a bear suit. Punching a woman in a bear suit. Like, I would like to quantify that, where he punches a lady in the face while he's wearing a bear costume.
That sold the movie right there. People were like, listen, all it's going to be is Nicolas Cage punching a woman in a bear costume.
I would watch that for 2 hours. Just on a loop.
I got a couple for you.
Okay.
They're quotes.
Okay.
It could be very easy. It could be very hard. First quote, name the movie. I'm your number one fan.
Misery.
That is correct.
Stephen King.
Second one, be afraid. Be very afraid.
The Fly.
Yeah, girl. Yes, The Fly is magnificent, and we're talking about like the more recent version of
the 1986 Cronenberg remake
with Gina Davis, Jeff Goldblum. Like,
is that when they were married? They were married during that, like, I think, right?
I want to say they met on that film, right?
I think they met on Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh yeah, you're right. Movie. You're right.
But I don't know if they were married at that point during The Fly. But
I'm not sure. But The Fly is amazing.
Fantastic.
Fly 2 is a very different movie. It's okay.
Yeah.
But Fly 1 is fantastic.
I mean, Cronenberg with his practical effects are just like, ooh. Like, those are
when Jeff Goldblum is like turning into the fly and he's explaining to Gina Davis how he's like throwing up on his food.
The ear comes off.
Yeah, and he's like, oh shoot. And he's like keeping parts of him in his medicine cabinet.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, here we go. And I'm like,
that movie, it was unappreciated. I unappreciated it as a kid because I'm just like, this is like, it's gross. I like gross. Cool. But as I've gotten older and I watch it, I'm just like, oh man, the psychology behind everything that's happening is so fascinating, because not only do you have a scientist who's like super obsessed with his project, but then when he becomes a monster, as he's becoming a monster, he's super obsessed with like the scientific aspects of that. But then you have this woman who's fallen in love with a guy, and the man she loves is just devolving into this thing. And then when she has to worry about like, I'm pregnant. like spoiler warning,
have fly babies.
The whole thing is just a roller coaster ride of emotions.
It really is.
So awesome movie. I can't think of a better way to end this show.
Right.
So Vivian, thanks for having me on. Who cares?
I don't care.
You guys won. You guys won.
You guys won for watching this. We all
This is
won.
exactly what I expected to happen. That we would just get wrapped up in the whole thing and then just like, what's a
It's
score?
like, who's winning? I don't care.
Listen, I think we all won tonight. And thank you again for supporting our channels. Thank you again for watching us just blather on about horror movies.
Exactly.
We will do this again soon. Don't worry. I had a lot of fun. And that's all I have. Vivian, you have the final say. Close up your show. Let's do this thing.
All right. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys. And make sure, again, before we leave, before we wrap this thing up, I know most of you are subscribed to the channels. Make sure you shout that out, share it to everybody, share out Cemetery Road, share out Dead Hours, like share it to everybody you know. Word of mouth helps us immensely. Like I said, even if you don't have money to donate, even if you don't have money to buy merch, it's not a big deal. The biggest thing you can do is to share and subscribe and post those links on social media. Get more of your friends to watch the episodes, to subscribe. That helps us a ton. That helps us more than probably anything, honestly. I mean, Jason can correct me on that, but
yeah,
as
like right now to like kind of monetize our channels to get it to so we can add more value to our channels. I need people to watch my stuff because I have watch hours that I need to fill, and Vivian needs subscribers. So we're all in this, we're like neck and neck in like almost being able to really make a lot of value for these channels. So any help you can do is immense for us. Subscribe and watch our content. Yeah. That is huge.
And all of that, any of that monetization, any of that that comes from you guys goes directly back into the channel. So that goes into the software we use, that goes into the cleaner that Jason buys to refurbish tombstones, that goes into
music licensing.
Equipment. Yeah, music license. Well, you don't have to pay me anything, but like, you know. But like any like software that we use for editing, like that all goes back into like the finished product that we can put out. So when we get monetized and we're able to move up to that next tier, we can produce even more like better content, more regular content. It helps us to like kind of close that gap and make the best content for you guys. Cause you know, it's like we want to put out the best things for you to watch. It's quality over quantity. We don't want to just throw out stuff that's like half made. Got a little bit of pride in our product, you know. So
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So everybody have a fantastic weekend. Make sure you go subscribe. Again, the link is in the video description below for both channels, Linktree, for the YouTube channels, for all the social media links are in there. So follow, we're both on TikTok. We're sorry. Jason's TikTok description is probably the best one, like of anybody's TikTok description.
I can't get into that account anymore.
You can't get into that one? Oh no.
I logged in weird to like for like a haunted side version of my account, and for some reason I cannot log back into my Cemetery Road account. It won't let me.
So everybody needs to email TikTok support and to make sure that Jason gets out of TikTok jail.
Yep.
Because his description,
I might have to restart it.
Where he's like, I film in like I hang out in cemeteries because that's when like only just me. Okay.
Yep.
It was great. So
all right.
We're both on all social media. So I'm gonna let you go, sir, because it is late night for you. It is getting kind of late-ish for me.
10 o'clock.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you everybody for being here. We're about at the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna call it. But we'll do this again for sure. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you for being here. We will do this again another time because this was fun as heck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.